Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Michael here. Chat here. We're so blessed to have you all today, and thank you for joining us. So, we have our beautiful team chiming in here. Got beautiful Chris Boucher in California. We got Washington State. We got me in Washington State. I just want to say one thing before we do our rundown and introduce everybody. We have lost the ability to have gummy bears in freaking Washington State. Can you hear me, gentlemen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And Vivian, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, beautiful. So welcome today, everybody, to Weekly's Day. This is a very important day. I'm going to share with you all my intro. We want to kill Bill, freaking Bill, kill Bill. Just say it, everybody. Kill Bill, AB45.
Kill the bill.
Yeah, Kill Bill, like that movie. We should do Kill Bill, and we should kill all the bills that are not helping Vermont people. Because as you can see in my studio space here, I have no more drugs here. Well, it's a war on people, everybody. But we lost gummy bears in Washington State like 6 or 10 months ago. And what the heck? Just get a better jar, and be responsible and let the adults have the 10 milligrams. So be responsible, everybody. Welcome, gentlemen. We have Chris Conrad coming on too, but I don't see him yet. And so beautiful, gentlemen, to be here. I'm going to share my screen with you and then do my intro, and that's going to be about a 3-minute intro because there's a lot of goodies in there today. And just bear with me, and then I'll be back to you. So here we go. Sharing my screen software. So I didn't get a chance to upload it today, but we're going to play it from my beautiful software here and enjoy my. We were all down at the Hemp field day with Larry Servant, and I'm just going to introduce this here while I have my space up here. And this is a drone. I got in there, it was 108 degrees, but I got about 5 or 6 o'clock. Nobody was there, and I set the drone up. And this is our intro. And better get busy, and we'll send links to you after the show.
And hello, everybody. This is an emergency broadcast from the system that is inside New Day and outside in California today. We have an emergency, and today's guest are going to be talking and roundtabling what we can do about stopping people from changing the name and the paradigm of industrial and cannabis space.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. We're really blessed to have you on board. So listen up.
Rights advocate and social activist fighting for government deregulation of weed and the release of all non-violent incarcerated for possession of marijuana, leaving violations, parking tickets, IRS debt, etc. Here on WEEDSDAYS, we keep the public informed about all things weed, including festivals and legislation surrounding regulating the growth of
Just get the volume up there.
Globally with everybody.
Smoking this doja feel like rolling baba. See the rays of the sun. As you dance to the crowd.
Okay, everybody, it's Jeff Eichen here, and we are live and in action. We got our trifecta here, and whoever else comes in, we're going to be blessed to have them. But first and foremost, Vivian, how you feeling?
I'm finer than a freckled fox there, follow up on TGP and get funky on the
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes you wonder how I keep from going under. So DJ's in the house. That was Smokahontas, everybody. I will introduce her to you soon, everybody. We're going to drop her new album soon, and it's on my Bandcamp, and we're going to do an NFT for her. I'm going to be doing NFTs, everybody, for all of our prisoners, and I'm learning that space, and I'm having such a blast learning the digital world and raising money for myself to keep myself going, to do the next film about the families, and to introduce to you today's emergency. Today's emergency is Kill Bill 45 in California. And Vivian, before we get to Chris and let him tell us what's going on, give us an update of how Hemp is going in plastic, your single-use plastic danger. Welcome. Single-use pans, single-use pans or pipes would be a great, like you buy 5 of them, and then when you have friends over, nobody shares a pipe anymore. You just have one.
So, I am in situations where a couple of us kind of pulled in the past in the office building. So, the reality is, you have 100,000 people in the spot, and you can control the decisions that they're going to make.
We have to be responsible and listen to the CDC.
Yeah, I mean, we've said for 30 years in Hemp essentially, we've said every single year that the number one goal of Hemp is actually the million of the first. That's the funding of the business.
Well, aren't they gonna close it down again? I mean, nationally, we're getting mask mandates again.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to Seattle, but yes, I think what we're seeing is a kind of shocking way it's infinitely more exposure. So anyway, you know, it's not happening this year. We're looking back strong. We are doing this. We see that people LGBTQIA advocacy, doing some great solutions. And one thing that I'm so happy one side
Myrtle Park. It's so beautiful unless it rains, but it's so beautiful.
And so we come in and we clean the photo booth, we clean every night of the event, all the trash, all the debris off the ground. It was right then when we were really clean the whole thing with the clean. So we thought, well, what if we, continue and continue our tradition, but we actually expanded the whole city of Seattle. So we can have to between the Broadway district and about 20 out and all the stickers and everything. That them to the and yes, that's the thing. And then
Just like Honey Bucket, the Honey Bucket.
Living in Rainier Avenue and Capitol Hill and City and Seattle here next to the invite everybody to really help unify the ground and it's really a focus on single-use plastics. We all know that single-use plastics is right now in the plastics. Seattle is a right down in the drain. So we really kind of want to set a good example and also do something that benefit the whole city. There's been a lot of professional sidewalk cleaning operations like the downtown and the gas station. Normally we Seattle, but didn't do that for over a year. COVID. The city too, looking at that. And on the gummy bears, and I just want to mention that in 2016, the FDA legalized Adderall gummies. So you can have gummies with Adderall in them, basically net, right? You can't have gummies with cannabis. But just one more, you can get this disparity in the drug world. That cannabis basically is treated like oxycontin or cocaine. That's my rant. The rant is too damn long. No, we're talking about some of the fish that we're doing here in Seattle for the month that Hemp Fest is going to be happening. So, Chris, once we've been on site for 10 days, we'll spin up the sundown, and then the 3 days of Hemp Fest. It's actually a nice weekly session to have everything gone on, everybody's gone, 9 minutes apart. We finished clearing everything and cleaning it out. And it's kind of a nice way to return back to our lives. Stand the whole thing for hundreds of thousands of us. I mean,
Did you find my sunglasses?
the ganja.
Ganjapreneurs, we are all ganjapreneurs and that's not manure. So thank you, Vivian, for all you do. We got Chris Conrad from California and Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher, today is Kill Bill AB45. You sent me all the wordings. I'm going to put that up on my website, lifersamovie.com, everybody, /donate. We'll share our funds for Bill Xeroxing and things like that. Chris Boucher, welcome. I've known Chris for, God, we've been in this for 25, 30 years. And it's just a blessing to steward the word. The word is all we can do. Come on. Yeah. Well, I'm 63, and next year I'll be a Beatles song. So when I get older, losing my hair many years from now, would you still be sending me? So, Chris, it's your turn. Boucher, please give us your elevator pitch on what's going on in California, what the emergency is, and do we have time to stop?
Well, I appreciate you having me on. It's a real honor. You were one of my mentors, Coach Conrad, and a legend in the gig. I think I met you in '94. And a long time. Like, I think our hair is really gray, and our beard is just gone and smaller. But, you're right. Yeah, great to do it. So, yeah, this AB45. It's a hemp bill written in California by Morgan attorneys. As far as I know, and hopefully someone can prove me wrong, not one farmer in California is involved in crafting this bill. So what it is, it's a distributor wholesaler outside lobbyist to sell hemp tinctures on the grocery store shelf. I have nothing against that. I think that's great. They're trying to basically California Health and Food, trying to act as the FDA and saying, okay, if you outlaw smokable flower and you change the name of industrial hemp cannabis here, we're going to allow hemp CBD to be sold at any grocery store, health food store, and it's a win-win for your science labs and science because they're not farmers. They sell finished products. However, at the expense of family farmers, small farmers, minority farmers, ethnic farmers, women farmers, you name it.
Hemp traders, too. Hemp traders also.
Traders, distributors, they can affect the hemp growers of smokable flowers, Oregon, Washington, you name the state, they're not going to sell their products in California. And our concern is just the trickery of this bill. When Jack told me a long time ago, wordsmith, you better know the word. And so the big word today, and again, I would be talking, but in terms of the law, how to enforce it, of these guys behind
along with the Hemp Association. So it's real confusing. So I swore I'd never be involved in another Hemp Association. I mean, I'm one of the original co-founders along with Chris with the HIA Association. And so this basically, we just put together a new association called Hemp Farmers Guild. It's just farmers. Anyone can join it, but it's the Farmers Association for farmers and non-hemp farmers here in California. And we're fighting this bill. They tried to pass it last September, but we were able to get enough minority farmers, ethnic farmers, just grassroots to kill the bill. And they actually killed it last year, but they came back. It's like the Delta variant. Come back again. And it's going to be in the Appropriations Committee, I think, August 16th. So we're trying to kill it in that Appropriations Committee. So it can yes. And if it gets through, we're having a huge press conference with several hemp organizations in California. And we're going to go directly after Gavin Newsom saying he's trying to kill the hemp industry. And I don't think he wants that. He's kind of, dealing with some recall issues now. So we're going to give it everything we have from grassroots level and try to stop this bill.
Do we have time, Chris? Do we have time left in the lineage of what they're doing? Do we have time to get more letters in and to speak our word?
Yeah, something there too, I was just trying to kill that section of Health and Safety Code 111921.5, the two references to flour, right? Hemp flour.
Yeah. Is definitely part of the equation, but from what we understand, there's no time to negotiate the bill. You know, all these issues. So they'll say, well, maybe we'll take the flour out, but I understand they're not going to take out the Cannabis Control Board regulating the hemp industry. They'll take it away from the CDFA and the IHAB board, which was part of the voter initiative. The Industrial Hemp Advisory Board will have no more power. There'll be nothing. So, you know, do we negotiate and not go anywhere, or we just say, hey, let's start over? You know, why are you taxing the farmer? I mean, we just had CDFA emergency regulations jack the hemp farming fee from $900 to $2,000. What about that family farmer that's got a 2,000 square foot greenhouse and they're trying to grow, you know, their own personal flower or their food? They have to pay $2,000, and the farmer with 50 acres, he's paying $2,000. So we're seeing this bureaucracy and administrative steamrolling and not listening to everybody. And California is a right to farm state, and we want that right. And it also is a right for a permit to farm. It's becoming a permit to farm also. So if you tax the hemp farmer, tax the tomato farmer, you know, the alfalfa grower, the cotton grower, not the farmer. In agriculture in California, the farmer doesn't pay the administrative fee. The processors do and the manufacturers. So it's kind of backwards, and we're not sure why, but our main focus, though, is just we don't have enough time to negotiate this bill. They never invited us to the table. And there's a week left. How do you negotiate all these points when there's a week left? And so, you know, that's one of our separate vetoes from the government. Yeah, and he's not going to veto it. But what we understand is he's against smoking. I understand smoking's a health issue, but we've got people that are quitting tobacco by smoking hemp cigarettes. We've got veterans that are PTSD'd out. And if you take a hit of a really good hemp high CBD, you know, pre-roll or cig, you immediately get CBD in your bloodstream, and it works within a minute versus if you eat it, it takes maybe an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. So there's some immediate benefits to the actual smoking. And we're not trying to debate whether smoking is healthy or not. It's just, the dosing and, how it affects certain people with anxiety and other issues.
And also,
And
I don't know if this would require the FDA to be involved, maybe to resolve this problem, which I don't really think we got the FDA out. Who oversees farm crops right now?
So that's the elephant in the room. The entire hemp industry is waiting for the FDA to roll out their regulations on CBD. It's basically going to be like a dietary supplement, and we're willing to accept that. I mean, matter of fact, a week before the pandemic hit, the chief of the FDA, they asked him, hey, what are you doing about hemp? All these farmers have their CBD, and I won't quote it by verbatim, but he did say it would be a fool's game not to allow the American consumer access to hemp CBD. The next day, all the stocks went through the roof, and then 4 days later, everything crashed when the pandemic hit. I think it was the second week of March.
Are you day
So
trader? Are you a day trader? Did you get in and out?
I wasn't, I've been in a few public companies, but
This is too ethical to do that. You the wide thing of not just having a few bucks on the inside.
Well,
yeah,
And I respect the person change. He's done a lot of work. He put it back on the line. Going to have that property for the valley. That was a federal prison. So, he's not just a big trader.
let me reset the room, everybody. We're with Weeds Day, everybody. Formerly, periodically, we get Sir Tommy Chong on here, and he's helping now. He was just with Amy Pobai at the museum, the Hemp Museum in LA, and he's got Hunter Biden in his sight and Mr. Biden. So he may help us no matter what to get to the White House. Chris, or all you Chris's and Vivian, what's your take on if we do end prohibition or we go stronger nationally? Will that help the states, or are the states going to hold to their laws and rules, even if the United States will loosen their laws?
I'm about to jump out of this conversation. I hope you guys don't mind. I just want to make sure I got it in a little bit. So if I didn't say this in any part, I think a lot of that really, Jeff, has to do with what they do with the tax side of it. Because if they just make it easy for the states to grow it, I think that's going to be very helpful. On the other hand, if they put a 10 to 25% tax, which was mentioned and now I understand is considered to be removed from there, then that would take away the incentive for people to be in the industry because there's no money. And so, I'm sorry I have to leave, but I just wanted to get a couple of words in there and say thanks for this opportunity. Thanks, Chris, for all your great work. Yeah, love Hemp Fest, and I'm glad you're keeping up lines here. So I'm going to take off.
Take care.
I'll just listen to the other answers.
No worries. Thanks so much for joining us, Chris. Everybody, that's Chris Conrad, and we got a little applause for Mr. Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher, keep going and tell us the emergency and what's your feeling. Do you think that we can stall them or give more time?
Okay, we need people to write letters to Edward Curry. She's actually a farmer, and she's one of the bill's authors. And I think she's in Lakeport County. And we're trying to get a letter written to them. You can email it, but it's always good to sign the letter and then scan it and send it because they know it's not coming from a robot. And the letters have been what's really been our best, I think, asset because we're getting farmers from all over the whole state, sending letters to Admiral Curry, their local senator, their local assembly person, and now we're, I think, on that post I sent you, is the Appropriations Committee. We want to send it to everyone on the Appropriations Committee. Do not pass this bill. And again, they need 2/3 majority to vote on this because, I just hate seeing a voter initiative getting allowed,
Well, hasn't it already passed the House?
Well, it has to go back and get voted again, I believe. And then I'm told they have a new bill, SB 235, which is this backup bill. I mean, we're dealing with some really major lobbyists. I mean, Hemp Roundtable, you know who they are? They're this massive law firm in Kentucky. Jonathan Miller, are you for hemp farmers in California? Why are you doing this? You know, I asked. HIA, Rick Trojan, the president of HIA, where are you? You know, Bone Hemp, Eric Seastra, where are you? You know where they're at? Most of their members in California or otherwhere where they get most of the money are their product development. They're wholesalers and distributors, you know, and they need product on the shelf. It's called shareholder value. So if you're a big public corporation like Charlotte's Web, CV Sciences, I can go on and on. Once California opens, their stock's going to go through the roof because now they can say to their shareholders, hey, we just opened up 5,000 new stores in California. I mean, come on, look at it. I mean, I've been around a while, and, you know, business is my game here, and economics is just really, you know, it's a money game. It's David versus Goliath. And, hey, you know, David beat Goliath, we can beat him again. So I think that's the issue, is that it's a slippery slope. Once they break the voter initiative, they can regulate and control the industry. I mean, even in AB 49, 45, there's one part of it where it says that at any given time, they can deem any part of the hemp plant unsafe. Like, so if they say, well, CBG is not safe, CBN. And the cannabis industry, I mean, you know, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I'll just say Project CBD. He eviscerated the hemp industry, and he's a really good writer. And he wrote some pretty heavy-duty articles saying that hemp CBD was fraud, it didn't work. Guess what? It does work, and it's not fraud, and it's a massive industry. So the cannabis industry finally realized they want hemp. They can't sell hemp in their dispensaries. So a lot of people want to smoke cannabis, but they don't want to get high. You know, people go to the dispensary and they're buying their weekend party material or the medicine. They're saying, hey, what do you have for my mom or my grandmother? I heard hemp is pretty good. Can I buy it here? No. You can go out the front door of the dispensary. The gas station sells it, the pet food store, the local health food store. I mean, they want in, they need the revenue, and I understand that, not at the expense of the hemp farmer, you know, and that's what it's boiled down to. You know, they've not invited us to the table, they won't negotiate with us, and they got a lot of money, and we don't have it. So that's kind of in a nutshell my take on it, my view.
Well, we're so grateful to get an understanding of what's going on. Vivian, do you have any words of consoling, and what can we do in Washington to help you down in besides getting the word out? What can we do, Chris? Vivian, chime in.
Well, I mean, this is very alarming. It's not real surprising because this is the kind of stuff that we've seen with our version of legalization that we have, which to me often feels like legalization on the prohibitionist terms. But you know, this is the way big industry works, and this is just one example in kind of a long list of ways that the independent, smaller farmers are being, you know, kind of steamrolled, in my opinion. And the problem is this goes on in California, then we can anticipate this probably happen in other states as well. Would you agree, Chris?
Yeah, we're seeing it happen in Oklahoma, where they're changing. They're basically giving the cannabis marijuana regulators control the hemp industry. Where I think we're seeing it in Tennessee, and I think, and again, I'm trying to connect the dots, and I'm seeing Hemp Roundtable and some of these other hemp groups promoting these bills. I mean, there's a positive economic side to it, but the downside is the farmers. So you're seeing the cannabis industry wanting control of the molecules. And I have the hemp fiber guys telling me, well, we grow hemp fiber, it's not going to affect us. Guess what? The new business model for fiber in all of Europe is a dual crop. You grow your fiber, and then you cut your CBD off the top. Even though it's a small percentage, it gives the farmer an extra incentive to grow hemp. So anyone who's going to grow a dual crop this would affect them, and I think that's going to be the future in industrial hemp farming. And I never liked the word industrial hemp. It just was industrial, sounded kind of toxic and negative, but we went with it. So, you know, but this name change and, you know, having the cannabis industry regulate us hempsters is, it's not good.
I'd like to give you a real world example of Kill Bill. You know, we heard since 1984, they were talking about Big Brother, right? And people are taping their little cameras on their phone and their computers, and everyone's got a little PTSD about that. Well, I just went onto my Facebook and it said this post has been removed because I'm posting live to Facebook, and so I reposted again. Let's see if it goes through. But that's what we need to do, everybody. Is we need to stay in the space. We need to do what we need to do. We don't take things personal. We just keep freaking powering on. Look at that beautiful, beautiful field, Chris, that we were at, that Larry pulled off. I mean, what the hell, right?
Hey, that's what we used to dream about. And, you know, as I drive up and down that 5 freeway, for 25 years, I would just dream and see fields like that growing up and down the valley, creating a whole new ecosystem. I mean, we were inside that canopy. It was 20 degrees cooler. It was 8 degrees out. You walked in that canopy, it was like 90. I mean, it was.
Can
like
you imagine having a
environment.
restaurant in there, having a restaurant in the center? Wouldn't that be fun?
Hey, Jeff, if you wouldn't mind, I wonder, Chris, can you explain me the name change part of this bill?
Please go on, carry on.
Because I'm a little confused about that. I'm just kind of learning about this.
Yeah, so in order for the Cannabis Control Board to regulate it, it has to have the word cannabis in it. So in other words, the wordsmithing, if you change the name, industrial hemp, they can't. So it unwinds.
So they're going to call it
language.
cannabis hemp or something like that?
Yeah, I believe that's the name of it, cannabis hemp. And then now it's legally defined within state law.
Now it's under their auspices.
Correct.
Wow.
And do we have Eric on here? Is that Eric Kingston about hemp, maybe? We have an Eric with the...
Eric, unmute yourself, and did he leave?
He's outed.
It was Eric, Big Brother. Wait, somebody's coming back in. Let's see who it is. Hang on.
No, we're working it out.
I mean, I was one of the founders of the HIA, and then I'm like, hey guys, you guys let her know we can't. And it was disturbing, you know, what happened in these associations. I mean, the HIA just disbanded 14 state chapters, you know. I mean, it's run amok. So we're just really trying to regroup, refocus, and get control of our industry.
Okay, here we go. Eric, welcome aboard. Mr. Eric, can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I went to go unmute myself and I hit the hang up button instead.
Introduce yourself to Vivian, and you already know Chris. Introduce yourself to Vivian.
Yeah, I actually don't know Chris. Vivian is who I know.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Eric.
Introduce yourself to
Eric.
Chris.
I haven't seen you since, God, I think like last night.
Yeah. The primary reason I'm here is I'm stalking Vivian McPeak because I got to talk with him right after this call. But no, I just wanted to jump in and have a listen. I'm on the board of directors for Seattle Hemp Fest as well. Been in the industry for since about 2009. So you know, long time loiterer and contributor to the industry. So always happy to get a little. Well, I actually spent 2 years in India. Putting together a vertically integrated hemp production facility. It was a little before its time, but a lot of focus on that was around fiber. So I was actually really fascinated by this dual crop methodology out of Europe. It's allowing them to chop a little flour off the top. Because I always kind of thought our textile vertical, you know, going after the textiles was going to be fairly insulated from a lot of this politicking. does not seem as though that's the case in this instance. So can definitely be keeping an eye on that. Other than that,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go for it.
sorry, just love listening to everyone. Very important.
Yeah, today's an important day, everybody. We're on Weeds Day with International Broadcast Media. We're going to Portugal. Thank God Portugal acted like Oregon, or Oregon learned from Portugal. Let's learn from everybody. Let's end prohibition, everybody. This is Jeff Eichen with Weeds Day. I've got one of Chris's hats on. How old is this hat, mister?
Okay, that's the Ford logo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's from 92. You know, when we did our hemp company, everyone's like, you don't put your name like Hempstead on the hat. We put Pure Hemp Genuine, would put Hemp, the logo, and they're like, you gotta put your name. We're like, well, we're not really selling our name, we're selling the hemp. So we do the genuine, the hemp logo, Hemp Girl, we did the whole, yeah, those were the days, we did all the Beatles anthology, Dave Matthews. I mean, that was back in the day when head shops were everywhere, where if you wanted a concert shirt, you had to go to a head shop to get a Grateful Dead shirt or an Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin or even a tie-dye. They didn't sell them in the big stores. And
I heard they're going to outlaw tie-dye.
You know, I remember in '97 we went to Target and we're like, oh yeah, we're going to sell them all this stuff. And they said, we can't even sell hemp or a tie-dye because it could influence a kid to do drugs. And I was like, wow. And then our warehouse was in Costa Mesa. We had Quicksilver, Billabong, Hurley. We were like all within a block of each other. And they wouldn't touch hemp either because they said, well, you know, we're not going to put any pot leaves on it. It's hemp. I said, well, it could, the parents might think it could make their kids smoke pot. So, and I was like,
How times change, huh?
It is, yeah. And I just saw Billabong has a whole hemp section in one of the surf shops, and I was like, yeah. So yeah, we're here now.
Well,
looks like that hat is held up pretty well.
Oh my God!
Can't beat the hemp fiber.
All of my hemp stuff that I got in the early days when I photographed the catalog, we had 200 hemp products from Hawaii and such. And let's see what's your warning say? It says warning: 100% pure hemp, cannabis made in America. Do not consume. Hemp is 100% drug-free and is the world's most environmental fabric. Wash by hand and don't smoke this hat, please.
Does it say vote for hemp?
It says save the hemp farm, vote for hemp, and demand hemp.
Yeah, those were
right there, everybody.
Jeff, I think it's very important that we raise the temperature, and it's not going to be temporary, because we got to hemp present.
Well, but in January it could be temporary.
Emperor.
I'm empathetic. I'm actually a hempath.
Empathetic. That's I'm getting new words.
Sorry, I couldn't hemp myself.
Well, we're all ganjapreneurs here, and we're fighting the good fight. We have a few more minutes here, everybody. Eric, you want to chime back in a little bit? We love seeing you, Eric. Are you with us still? Oh,
yeah, not a whole lot more to add. But I really appreciate the dialogue. Thanks very much.
Yeah, well, what's your take on we're in Washington State, I'm in Port Townsend, you guys are in Seattle. What's your take on just the man, still having his finger on us? And we lost 300 medical stores in Washington several years ago, and now gummy bears. And what the hell? Where are you with all this?
See, it's like I said, I'm fairly new to the I-502 market. I moved here in 2016, so I start right at the.
By the way, I dig that shirt, that Hawaiian shirt you got on.
Hey, thanks. You got a few of the traditional leads in.
I saw that. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so yeah, I have kind of a later perspective on the whole thing, but I actually cut my teeth helping the medical program come online in Arizona. And that was if you want to talk about kind of reactionary, having the man with us. thumb on you. That's that market was incredibly challenging. I actually find the Washington legislature when I'm in Olympia, bantering at the political level, they're a little, at least on the surface, a bit more receptive than a lot of what I've encountered in Arizona. Maybe that's lip service, but as much of an uphill battle as we have in Washington, there's still a lot worse out there.
When you're in Olympia, you can leave a hemp balm, lip balm for all those lip service people. Just bring it like 50 or 100 and just drop them off, have your phone number on them, or white label for them. And I'm really proud that you're saying all this because you are coming from a different state to this state and sharing your exuberance or your knowledge about one state being bad and one state being a little bit better. What's your hope?
Well, I mean, eventually we're going to have to. We've seen so much of the social stigmas dissipate over the last couple of years, and it seems like that's picking up steam. So, I mean, I guess our next, I sort of see this whole Delta 8 phenomenon as sort of the last act of the last act of defiance of the prohibition crowd. They're gonna use that as their last sort of, we've got to come down on this hard, and then people are going to say, you know what? Let's not even bother, splitting hairs over cannabinoids at this point. The molecule's not that much different. Let's just legalize all of it and start collecting the tax revenue. So I genuinely feel before we're able to fix this on any significant level in the state, the federal government's going to upend the whole system anyway. So I'm kind of trying to think about playing where the puck's going to be, and not so much where it is today.
Well, I love the analogy. We're in the Olympics right now. What's your favorite Olympic sport?
Water polo.
Water polo is awesome. It's awesome, yeah. And
surfing, skateboarding. I mean, surfing and skateboarding in the Olympics. Oh my God! Like, okay, but yeah, I mean, not as good as you think, but yeah.
What about Tony Hawk is doing commercials now again? I was working with Tony's wife on clothing. Is she doing hemp, Chris? Tony Hawk's wife?
I don't know. He used to have, him and Bob Burnquist used to do,
right.
They used to have our hemp wallets. We used to do the Boom Boom Huck Jam. It was like skateboarding, rock concert, motocross, all in one. It was like, the business model never took off. But yeah, no, they're, I don't know him, but I've met him. That's there.
And Vivian, what's your favorite Olympic sport?
There used to be a cable access show in Seattle called the Bong Hit Championships, and I think we need to incorporate. Times are changing, man. We need to get up with the times. We need the Olympics to include some joint rolling and some things like that.
Do you know anybody, Vivian, that can take in a 36-incher?
What's that?
Those bongs that are 36 inches, those big, giant, long ones. Can somebody take in?
I'm sure that somebody has the extended lung capacity to adequately inhale and retain a bong hit from the 36 inch, I would imagine. Not me, I can tell you that much. I'm kind of a greedy, old-fashioned joint guy.
Hey.
I think if you Michael Phelps try that one, you might have to.
You've got a little green stuff on your tongue there. You might want to go see the doctor, Jeff.
It's my green screen actually, but that's the Rolling Stones. And how about
I've heard of them.
How about cannabis music, Vivian? Who's your favorite cannabis musician this week?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Oh, I think I could say Pato Bonton.
Pato Bonton?
The English reggae artist Pato Bonton. He did a song called "Legalize It." It's not Peter Tosh's song. It's a different song, but I think it's the best cannabis song ever produced. That really goes. It explains the entire gamut. If somebody didn't know anything about cannabis and they listened to that song, they would come out with like a Chris Conrad level education.
Well, I'm going to blow your minds right now. Michael Thompson just came out of jail. I've been helping him. I flew to Michigan, and he was in jail for 27 years. He was Aretha Franklin's booking agent, and he swore he wants to do a concert with me to help all the other prisoners. So if we do that and we get you, Vivian, to put your logo on, and we start sponsoring this and everything, let's get Bond to open for us.
He just is completing a nationwide concert tour, 3 concerts. They're all free. He hasn't charged at them.
When's he coming to Seattle?
Well, I don't know. I mean, now we have the Delta variant, so I think it's starting to change the dynamic. Right? There was this idea that we were kind of coming back, back to normal, and I think that might be compromised at the rate that we're going. I'm not sure.
I want to plug ganja musicians, Giant Panda Gorilla Dub Squad. You guys are a Giant Panda Gorilla Dub Squad.
Yes.
And there's another band, 10-Foot Ganja Plant. They're out of Syracuse, New York. Anyways,
my band.
They're good. I
have to write that down, Chris.
Oh, they're these New York guys from, I think, Syracuse or.
I just had somebody at the door. It was the Smiley Amazon. So everybody, today I'm going to tell you what happened to me. Everybody is I just took a new hard drive to California, and so today is Backup Wednesday. So back up your hard drives tonight, everybody. Your most important information. Throw it on the cloud. Put your hard drives in a fireproof box. Close it when you leave your house, so in case your house goes down, you'll have your media. Because I got this hard drive in the mail in one day, and everything in this hard drive that went to Cali, this is my hard drive that went to Cali, it won't read on my laptop anymore. And we spent an hour yesterday. So Backup Wednesdays, everybody, be careful with your media. I'm a photographer, and we hate it when we lose our media. But all my shots are still on my cards, so I didn't erase any of the cards. Bottom line is Backup Wednesdays. Final words, Vivian?
We need to keep the fire burning, man. There's still 40,000 Americans jailed in prisons and dozens serving life for cannabis. And then, of course, we have the situation like this industrial hemp bill in California. We need to defend our independent, small-scale farmers and growers. They were the lifeblood of this movement. There would be no cannabis culture. There would be no cannabis legalization. None of this would be happening. There'd be no medical marijuana without the people, the OG people that risked everything when it was scary, when it was dangerous, when it was crazy. People like Chris. We were laying it down before this was a big money-making operation, when it was revolutionary, and we can't allow the people that sacrificed to make this possible be kicked under the cannabis because big agriculture and big money is coming in, and carpetbaggers and the same old kind of corporate fat cats now putting their money in hemp shares, put 1,000 on hemp shares. That's not going to work if we can't include the people that have made this all possible and the people that are just trying to survive. Not trying to get rich, just trying to do their thing and support the planet.
I appreciate you, Vivian.
Amen to that.
Amen. Let's give you a big
Throw money.
Chris, any final words?
AB45 killed the bill. Call if you can't write an email and sign it. Call your state legislator. Call Assemblywoman Edgar Curry.
What's the number? Do you know her number off your head?
I don't.
Okay, we'll post it. We'll post it on from your email, everybody, on my Facebook, and then when I do an edit, it'll be up there. Probably by Friday, everybody. So Chris, keep going on your final words.
My final words are thank you for just having me on and just spreading the message. It's been too long. You and I have been talking, but I've been in, 15, 20 years, and it's finally here. The industry's here. We got it going, and it's only been 2 or 3 years here in California, and they're trying to destroy the small farmer. I mean, most of my customers are Hispanic, Asian, African American, veterans, I mean, it's a smorgasbord. And guess what? They're all growing smokable flower. They're growing small scale. And it's their little income, and it's going to destroy them. And
Wait till we go to Red Rock in Sedona and we do the Marlboro shoot with the green Marlboro man with bell bottoms and the Marlboro woman and the baby. So let's do it.
yeah, we're trying to get a big veterans group to come in because I made some CBD shatter by accident. I couldn't. I had a bunch of leftover flour, and we made this like 80% shatter. And I try to sell it, but everyone's like, it's 2% THC. You can't sell it. So I gave it to a bunch of veterans, and they're like, this is the best stuff we've ever had.
I know Project 22 from Missouri. We can bring 22 vets from Missouri and do a little docu and all get together, have a weekend.
Yeah, we need California vets, and they say a lot when, you know, a veterans group speaks these days. They have a lot of, you know, hemp power, we'll say. And so we got a group, hopefully they're going to get their message to the local senators. And they need the smokable flower because, you know, and people with anxiety, from what I understand, it's an instant. You have a hemp joint or a hemp pre-roll, whatever you want to call it, and you're having an anxiety attack, a couple of hits, that CBD kicks in. You know, it's not for everyone, but it's a quick come down off of an anxiety trip, and it works. It works for some people, and that's what the feedback we're getting, and that's what they want. So everybody wants it for a different reason. And then again, like there's CBN, CBG, they want the molecules, you know, and so all these discoveries we're seeing in the hemp industry is going to be taken away from us by these carpetbaggers, outside lobbyist firms, these attorneys. You know, that's how they make money, and we don't have the money to pay them, but the cannabis companies do. So, Paul, Wright, your California assembly person, the senator, tell them to kill the bill and get farmers involved. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jeff.
You don't need to be in California to call everybody. The more we get, we got 300,000 signatures for Jeff Mazansky, and Vivian helped me with that. And he came home. Governor Nixon commuted him. So let's commute this bill and squash it. And Chris Boucher, what do you have to say to the children?
Save the children with hemp. You know, these kids, that's how the whole hemp thing started, was little babies and little kids having seizures. And how could you say no to a kid having a seizure and you put a couple drops of hemp CBD in their mouth and the seizure's gone? That was it. There was mothers walking into senators' offices and congressmen going, my baby's dying. See this CBD? It's saving my baby. My baby's not getting high. And we had a lot of conservative, really heavy duty, like cops type politicians went, how can I say no to this mother? So it's for the kids.
And there's LEAP also. There's LEAP, all the prohibition officers that changed their mind, and so that organization has changed their name, but they're cops against prohibition. And so we appreciate all you're doing, and I'll post anything you want me to post on this video and on our site. You can see a replay, everybody, on our site, which is totally cool. Any final words, Eric?
Not for me.
Okay, Hemp Hooray. I'm going to put us back in party mode here.
Read Skunk Magazine.
And so Vivian's working with Skunk Magazine. I have a story, Vivian, if we're not too late, from this weekend at the show with plenty of photographs. I'll send you my photos and see if they want us to create a story from the field day. It'd be wonderful. And we'll talk off air. And otherwise, everybody, I'm going to share my outro. And it's been a great Hemp Hooray, everybody. 3.
Awesome.
Four is good. 4 is good. So thank you. And here we go. I'm going to share my screen and get our outro here. Bing. And we're going to go here. Here. And we're going to go home. Here we go.
Hemp Hooray, everybody. This is an emergency broadcast from the system that is inside WEEDSDAYS and outside in California today. We have an emergency, and today's guests are going to be talking and
That's my drone,
roundtabling
Vivian.
what we can do about stopping people from
That's my
changing
drone.
the name and the paradigm of industrial hemp cannabis space. Human rights advocate and social activist, fighting for government deregulation of weed and the release of all non-violent criminals incarcerated for possession of marijuana. Moving violations, parking tickets, IRS debt, etc. Here on WEEDSDAYS, we keep the public informed about all things weed, including festivals and legislation surrounding regulating the growth of hemp. So blessed to have you here today, everybody, to join forces with us to help California stop the madness, paper madness, and hemp madness, and to remain madness, and everybody who has something to do with government should just go away and kill Bill 45. So we have a really big plan today. I hope you show up. These are photographs from the week that everybody spent a field day with great serving at that time. And we're so blessed that we got to be in that space where everybody can hear her, and just the shade, and John and all the other people that are making industrial hemp a reality in America. It's so beautiful. I can't say how we've been in this space for so many years, and we're so blessed that we have an outlet in the show to play with you all, and we have a roundtable. So we're going to share this globally with everybody. And just get ready, everybody, to do the push to make more jobs, make more climate change plants on the planet to be planted and rotated or not, because marijuana actually, as Tom says, cannabis is a beautiful, beautiful plant. There's so many things. We want to be plastic, we want to be everything. So I am totally blessed that we have giving food, we have maybe very serving, we have recordings that I can share with you all throughout the next month. So it's Hemp Industrial Day. Let's stop it before
Thanks everybody for joining me today. Cali AB45. Stay true to yourself and to the plant. Feed your plants. Look for mold, look for mites. Get the classic books that are out there for yourself. I'm going to come back and say that it's been a great show, and there's so much going on right now. It has been going on for quite a while, and I can't wait to see you next week, and for us to ensure that we stop AB45. And a lot went on today, and I appreciate everybody for showing up. And here we go. Thank you. Hemp Hooray, everybody. It's been a great show.